great quote. She said that poor minds talk about other people, average minds talk about events, but great minds talk about ideas. Welcome to the Take On Everything podcast.
What's up, everybody? We are live on a Sunday night. Thanks for joining the broadcast. And we have ourselves a guest with us. Princess, do you want to do the intros?
Hi, guys. I'm Princess Rivulet on the internet. If you're watching this, probably not black. But mute it, James. I'm very excited because we have Goddess Ashley Shade with us. I'm not going to fangirl, okay? But you're going to sign some stuff for me after this, okay? It's fine. And we are going to talk to us about your campaign, which I'm super excited for. And I don't really get into the political stuff, but you're the kind of leader that we so desperately need, take no shit, get it done, nothing but facts. And I love that about you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it takes, a special person to go out there and put their name out on a ballot and actually try to run a campaign and try to win. I don't know if I have the stones to do that, but I think that that's an admirable thing for somebody to do. So where are you running and what are you running for?
Yeah, so I live in a small little city in Massachusetts called North Adams, and I'm running for North Adams City Council, and I'm really excited to run. There are 9 seats that are available on the council. They're all at large, and all of the seats are up at the same time. So every 2 years, all 9 seats are reelected. And so I'm really excited about my campaign. I'm really excited about my chances of actually winning. And I'm really excited to explore further and get launched and hopefully bring a win.
That's always the goal, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, not always, but that's what I love about Miss Ashley, because she's running to win. What's the biggest issues on your platform right now? What are the things you're facing?
So right now we haven't officially launched the campaign yet. Right now we are in exploratory mode. Papers for nominations aren't available until April 6th. So when nomination papers become available, we'll have our decision made by then for officially running. But we're in the process of planning everything out now. So my platform that we've developed so far has 3 aspects. The first is messaging, and that is running a campaign based on the ideas of compassion, education, and love. That's what I want my campaign to be about. I'm not about the negativity. I'm not about the anger. I'm about reaching people, teaching people, and showing them the way to liberty through love. And I believe that's the right way to outreach to people who aren't libertarian. And so as a libertarian, in order to reach more people, especially in the community around here, but in any community, we have to be willing to be compassionate. We have to be willing to listen to people and hear what they're saying, and then educate them. Yeah, that's a really great point, and I understand why you're frustrated. Here's what I think we could do in a liberty way that would help you find a solution to your problem and fit in with the libertarian philosophy, fit in with our principles. And of course, by being compassionate, being willing to listen, and teaching people, we can then light the road of liberty with love and bring more people together.
I love that so much. That messaging, especially in the libertarian movement itself, I think we lose that of meeting people with love. But this is what I admire about you. Your patience to speak to people you disagree with is outstanding. I couldn't muster it, especially when talking with people who are left-leaning. I have no patience. But the way you're able to tackle some of these social issues that libertarians aren't very suave at explaining is really something to be admired, honestly. So what's your plan of attack when dealing with people who disagree with you in that way?
Well, I mean, it really depends on the issue. One of the things that you have to realize is that both people from the left and people from the right hear things differently. So you could say the same words, but to one group of people, this word is really bad and you shouldn't say it. And to this group of people, this word is really good and you should say it. Take, for example, when talking about gun control or the Second Amendment. If I'm talking to somebody from the left about the Second Amendment, I really want to reach them where they are. So it's important for me to identify myself. I'm a transgender woman, and in many communities, I may not be safe, and so I should have the right to have access to whatever tools I deem appropriate to defend my life from being attacked. And there's nobody that's going to disagree with that. I don't say the word gun when I'm talking to left-wing people, because as soon as you say the word gun bad, it brings fear and an instant terrible reaction. So that's not what I want the argument to be about. What I want it to be about is human lives. Bring it back to humanity. How does it affect individual people? When we're talking to regular people who aren't libertarians about taxes, if I say taxation is theft, they're not going to care what I'm talking about. Taxation is theft, what does that mean? But when I say, look, you're losing 30% of your income from income taxes out of every paycheck. Now, a struggling single mother working 2 jobs might only have to work 1 job if she could keep her whole paycheck. When we talk about the issues in those ways that actually relate to the human side of people, that's how we convince them that liberty is the way. That's how we convince them that what we're doing is the real solution to the problem, and not just the band-aids that the two parties have come up with over the years.
Absolutely. I love that. Go ahead, James.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I love that messaging. No, I was just saying the messaging there is key, and it's huge because there's so many words that like libertarians use for the benefit of other libertarians. Like we have our own like code speak, right? Yeah. So when we say words, we forget that we're speaking a completely different language than other people, and they're receiving a completely other thing. We can say, like you said, the same word to 2 different people, and 2 different people are going to get the opposite reaction to it. And what we need to understand is when we're communicating is 2 ways. It's not just speaking what you want. It's making sure the person you're speaking to is receiving the information you're trying to share to them. So I just want to say I love that approach to it. I mean, like, have you been? You mentioned the gun thing as far as like that's how you talk to left-wing people about guns. I'd love to hear more examples, like maybe another example of an issue that you're able to communicate with people and your approach to, to convincing them or at least having them open to the idea that you're bringing.
Yeah, again, it depends on the issue at hand. For example, one thing that we talk about is, especially with left-wing people, is anti-discrimination laws. And one of the big ones happening right now is the Equality Act, which honestly I support because it actually limits the government discriminating against people, which government should never be able to do. So when a law, prohibits government from doing something, I'm all good for that. I want the government to do less. But, for something like anti-discrimination laws, yeah, in some instances they're necessary. In some instances they're needed now because a marginalized community might be being harmed by the society tremendously. But it's not a long-term solution because based on who's in power, those laws can flip like this. And what happens is the people who feel like they're being forced to comply, you're never going to win them over. You're never going to be able to educate them and bring them over and turn them into allies, turn them into at least neutral people not trying to harm you. But if you could have the conversations and educate people and teach people, and you win people over to either be neutral or allies, then as society increases its acceptance, and we get into that 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and we'll never get to 100%. But as we cross that 50, 60, 70% barrier, now society is going to stand up and do the work for us. People are going to stand up and say, no, you can't treat people that way. No, you can't do that. That's not acceptable. And we're seeing that in many ways now without laws. Now, again, sometimes you do need a law to help to stop violence, to stop harm being done to a community. But a law cannot be the only solution. A law is not a permanent solution because, again, based on who's in power, those laws get stripped away. And so it's really important to remember that, and remember that just because a law was passed doesn't mean that you've won. The outreach and education is still the most important part. We have to teach people. Hatred is a learned behavior. Ignorance is learned. It's learned to ignore certain things. It's learned to hate people. You're not born with hatred in your heart. So the best way we can explain that, and the best way we can win over people, is by having difficult conversations, being willing to listen to valid conversations and points, and educating people about things that they are not understanding. And to do that, we have to connect with them on a human level. If we immediately go on the defensive or offensive and become insulting, that's it. It's game over. You're not going to win over people that way. And so it's really important to have those conversations. And it's not possible to have that conversation with everybody. Some people are too far gone. And it's important to recognize that too. Some people you just don't. Some people you have to walk away from. No, not even going there, because they're not there to listen. They're there to troll or argue or whatever. But for those who are just ignorant and not full of hatred, we have to have those conversations with the ignorant and teach them.
Absolutely, because you don't argue with people Harriet Tubman would have left in the fields, okay? Like, pick your battles. Harriet would have left you picking cotton, and like, I'm not going to fight you for your freedom. That makes no sense. Like, it does me no service that you get to keep your money and give your kids a Christmas. But like, the discretion is such an important key to that, and like having. Because when you're going to burn out, if you keep engaging in like these confrontations when like someone's just fucking with you. Yeah. My counter to that, though, is like, even if this person is just fucking with you, you don't know who's going to come behind and like read those comments. Correct. And like they could like read that and you can read. Exactly. So like I say, give them hell, guys. Just like raise hell on the internet still.
But make good points. Make good points.
Make good points.
I mean, Ashley, you said one of the keys to your campaign is education. And I think that's so true. I've heard a lot of really intelligent people say that, you know, government kind of follows culture and it follows what the people want. At the end of the day, you do need to have some kind of basis of understanding and some kind of like, you know, grassroots support for an idea. So the whole point is to make person-to-person relationships and, you know, try to convey those ideas and really teach people. And like you said, Princess, you know, when you're on the internet and, you know, you're shitposting and you're really, you know, going after people and you're trying, you know, you're addressing these people that are, you know, stubborn or wrong or just there to troll. If you leave really solid arguments or you know, statistics or something that, like you said, other people can pick up, I think that's beautiful. Like you said, you don't know who's going to see that, and that's how you affect change over the long term. We've made a lot of progress in this country. We've also done a lot of bad things, but you see the things that we've made progress on. We're in a much better place now, and I can't wait to see where we're on in the future.
Okay, if we like change course, yeah, we can't wait to see. But
I'm talking about like a lot of like you know, dealing with people that are marginalized. There's been a lot of progress culturally, you know, not necessarily, you know, in the state, but there's been a lot of progress culturally in that way. So I think that's an important thing to recognize. I
want to go to Mars. That's why I
want to go to Mars. Is that your plan? Like, you and Elon are gonna
No, like someone's already pitched this, okay? So I'm stealing it, but it's a brilliant idea. Elon just brings us to Mars, and then we establish like a libertarian planet. And like, fuck Earth, their resources are depleting anyway, and it's dirty here.
It's dirty here.
We could go to Mars.
Someone shared a song with me earlier today. This is so funny that you talk about this. It's called Earth is Ghetto, I Want to Leave.
Earth is Ghetto, I Want to Leave?
Earth is Ghetto, I Want to Leave. You should check it out. It's brilliant.
Look it up. Look it up right now. Share the screen. Look it up.
I'm gonna look it up.
Is it a parody or is it like an original?
It's an original. Somebody made it. It's beautifully done, and it's perfect for what you're talking about. Like, yeah, let's go to Mars because Earth sucks.
Oh my gosh, I need to see this. Okay.
Elias Sheffield? Is it Elias Sheffield?
I think so.
Okay.
That sounds right.
All right.
Is it a rap? This is about to be the theme song. Okay, send me the link.
This
I'm sending
might
it to
be
Elon, and this is my pitch.
This might be it. Let me see if I can share this. Hold on.
I walk into his office. Okay, he's like, "Who the fuck are you? How'd you get in? Not important." I put my millimeter back in my pocket. Okay, it's fine. Just like take a seat. I just have a presentation for you. Listen to this song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's on,
Come on, James.
YouTube. It says this
I'm
song.
trying. There it is. Okay, can everybody see this?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Can't hear it though.
Can't hear it.
Okay. I mean, I can hear it. I don't know what the deal is with that then.
Are you sharing your sound too? I don't know how this works. I'm not technically.
I don't either.
We're about to
I
give
haven't
up on
tried to
it.
do this before. Well, okay,
James,
everybody.
No time to learn like the present. You looked it up on YouTube. Look it up on YouTube.
It is on YouTube.
Yeah, just look up Earth is Ghetto, I Want to Leave. I feel like we're spending too much time on this. Ashley, how was your day though? While James does that technical stuff.
I'm gonna fool with
it's been a productive day, that's for sure. Reorganizing things and getting things in place. So
what are you most so I know you're in the exploratory phase. Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah. But what are you most excited for the campaign trail?
I'm excited. I have an amazing team behind me, which is beautiful, and I love it. I have 30 volunteers for my city council campaign in a city with 13,000 residents. So I have a great team behind me already, but mostly I'm excited to work with and help people in my community and help affect positive change and change the culture. My goal in life is to help influence positive changes to culture. And so I put myself out there and I do all these things because I want to help people. And I want to see more good in the world. I want to see more people helping people. I want to see the culture change so that people can live their lives no matter what they believe in, no matter who they decide to love, no matter how they decide their authentic self should be. I want those people to be able to live their lives without fear, without persecution, and without being harmed. And so for me, that's the end goal. Everybody should be able to live their lives without being afraid to be who they are or love who they love. Everybody should be able to live their lives without persecution for who they love or for being their most authentic, true selves. And so that's what it's all about for me.
You know, that's what excites me most about your campaign is because when you say that, I fucking believe it. Like, fuck yeah, you do. You know, and like, how often do you hear a politician say that? And it's just like, yeah, how much do you want? But like, you know what I mean? It's just, you can sense how genuine you are. And that's why you have so many people behind you already. And like, you are going to do the damn thing, like, honestly. And I'm so excited. Like, I'm genuinely I'm thrilled. I'm not going to fangirl. It's fine. It's fine, guys. I'm not going to fangirl. Okay. You got it, James?
I have it on YouTube. I'm going to give it another shot. Wish me luck. I don't know if this is actually going to work. We're going to try this.
World's best producer, guys.
I didn't know I was going to be sharing a video.
Expect the unexpected. Right. This is Princess Riviette. What?
That's right. That is true. That is true. All right.
I don't think I've ever said my name the same way twice.
Keep everyone guessing.
Well, I've only seen it written, so someone needs to pronounce it for me.
How would you like it pronounced?
Let's see if we can hear this. Anything?
Nope.
No sound.
Okay. I give up. I'm done.
Okay,
I'm not doing it.
go
Go check
Google
it
it.
out.
Go check it out on YouTube. You'll love it.
That's gonna be
Okay,
like
that's
my
enough.
ringtone now.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
it sounds pretty good. Like I could hear it. I've got it on the background, so you know.
Oh, okay. James, sing it for us. Go ahead.
I am not going to sing it for you. How's that?
Oh, then why even bring it up? What are we talking about?
We're talking about campaign, right? So okay, so we see your approach, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any like specific like city council level proposals and things that you really want to implement, like specific ideas that you want to look forward to?
Absolutely. So the way our government works is that our policy is driven by the mayor. So the mayor is the one that submits policy and proposals, and the council kind of votes on things. But two of the areas that I am going to be discussing heavily, I have three main pillars, but two specific right now. The first one is economic development. I live in Berkshire County. North Adams, back in the mid 80s, lost its biggest employer, Sprague Electric. And then in the mid 90s, our county lost its biggest employer, which was General Electric. They had their plastics division in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. And so the combination of losing both of those industries and businesses killed the local economy. And we've rebuilt and become an arts, tourist, cultural center, which is great. And we have the largest museum of contemporary art in the world, or in the United States, here in North Adams, Masamoka. And we have a lot of natural beauty. We have a lot of things here, but what we don't have is a lot of economic opportunity. And so most of the economic jobs, as you would say here, are through education in schools, healthcare, retail/restaurants, and then tourism. And these are not high quality, great paying jobs. I mean, they're good jobs, but they're not jobs that give
No
you
one's
that
getting
economic.
rich.
Yeah, nobody's getting rich at all. Nobody's
Helping the rich people though that come there, they're helping them out. But
That's all
Yeah.
that matters. We're just
So,
cogs in the wheel.
so it's really important that, we bring in people through tourism, we bring people to the community, which is great. But now it's also time to focus and bring more diverse jobs to North Adams for the people that live here and for the future generations. Our population is shrinking. Our average population median age is almost 43 years old. That's not sustainable over time. We have a large senior community here. Our young people constantly leave because there's no opportunity for growth. And so it's really important that we, as a council, promote North Adams. We are in a location that's perfect. We are 3 hours away from New York and Boston. We're an hour away from Albany, New York. And we have some of the lowest cost of living in the state of Massachusetts. We also have two world-class universities, Williams College, which is in Williamstown, town right over to us, consistently ranked one of the top universities in the world. We have the Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts here in North Adams, and we have a technical high school, McCann Technical High School, where we have vocational skills that can be learned. So we have in our community the opportunity to train a workforce. We have empty mill buildings that have been repurposed and rebuilt, ready for businesses to come in and occupy. So we can develop new businesses and bring new companies in. And we have all these great things right here in our community to sell them on. And we need to do that. And we need to get them here because the people that live here deserve to have great economic opportunities too. And
you get out there and start marketing. That's where it's at. You get hey, we're the place you want to be. Trust me.
Yeah, and our elected officials need to be the ones behind that, steering that. Y'all need to market our city, right? This is our city. We represent this community. Let's get out there and show these people what we've got. Let's recruit. Let's bring companies in. Sell them on the beauty of North Adams. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world, especially in the fall when the foliage is here. There's no place like New England in the fall, and especially North Adams. We're in a valley, so you come down the mountain and you just see into the valley all the color changes of the leaves and how beautiful everything is here. And so we have the natural beauty. We have the Arts and Culture Center. We're 3 hours from New York and Boston. We have the infrastructure ready. let's do business. Come on in, come be a part of us, help us grow. Let's do this together. And that's really what that's about. So
Hey,
that's
that's sold
so
me. That's pretty good. I like
yeah,
that.
let's just here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna clip this video and we're just gonna send that to everybody. And that's the campaign, because that was beautiful. Like, I'm ready to go. Like 3 hours from New, I would fucking move there. And I would never leave Colorado. Wow.
Yeah.
Nailed it, dude. I'm proud of you.
So that's one big issue. And then the other one is mental health. Here in our area, we have a lot of underlying mental health caused problems. The opioid addiction crisis is big here. It's definitely been a problem in our community. We have problems to access to mental health. We have a very high rate of domestic violence in our area. We have higher rates of suicide than the average areas. And part of fixing that problem is understanding what are the root causes of why this exists. The first root cause is access. And right now, COVID has actually given us something amazing when it comes to access. It's giving us remote health. And we need to work with providers and partners in the state and say, hey, can y'all come and do more for residents of North Adams? Can you help us get more access to our communities? Now that remote health is a thing, we need to partner with providers and promote that for our residents. The other thing that goes along with that is the economic development. When people have very poor ideas of what the future is going to hold, when people are living paycheck to paycheck, what is the number one thing that couples argue about?
Money.
It's money.
That bitch named Tammy, that fucking whore at your job. I know you're talking to her and you never have to work late, Tim.
Yeah, the biggest cause of domestic issues, arguments, is money. That's number one. So if we have better paying jobs, if we have more industry here, if we have more opportunity here, we lower the domestic violence rate naturally just because people aren't fighting about these things anymore. Now, there's education that goes behind that as well, and making sure that we are not promoting a culture where domestic violence is acceptable. And those changes are being made, but we need that other piece. So increasing access to help and increasing our economic development is going to help take care of those mental health issues that we're seeing in our community. And so it's something that doesn't get talked about enough. And so I'm making it part of my campaign, because the first step in getting people to mental health care is having the conversation and getting people to be aware of it. Awareness is important. Without that, nobody's checking, nobody's thinking about it. And if there's something that COVID has taught us, it's that we were not meant to be alone. We were meant to be in society together. Humans are not meant to be isolated. And so as we start to come out of this pandemic, as more things start to open up again, as people get vaccinated, whatever, as things become safer and we learn to live with this, we need to be able to be there for each other in our communities. We need to be able to support each other and love each other. And we need to be able to work together to solve problems and not just argue and fight and not just complain about issues, but actually have conversations with each other and not insult each other and look for solutions together. And so that is really what my campaign is all about.
I love that so much. Like, I believe in it. I'll vote. I won't. I'm not there. But let me ask you. So Oregon just legalized everything. Good for them. Way to go. But they're using the tax revenue to promote mental health. So how do you feel about a system like that in a libertarian society? It's not ideal, but if you're going to tax it, I'd like it to go to mental health. How do you feel about that?
I mean, if you're going to tax it, sure. Honestly, if you're going to tax things, I would like people to be able to say what programs their taxes go towards.
I'd like an opt-in?
Yeah, I'd like people to be able to have, let's take a look at taxes, say the sales tax in our local community, right? Mm-hmm. I'd like people to be able to say 1% of their taxes should go to this program and be able to pick whatever one down the list, whether it's schools,
I love that.
roads. put your money where your mouth is. Pick where you want your things to go, right? If you're gonna have to take, if you're taking our money, if you're gonna force us to lose our money, people should have a deciding factor in where their money goes to, right?
Yeah, if we are the government, right, and our money is going to fund this thing, I would like to, make sure that it's going to something I approve of. And I think that's a frustrating part of like government, right? Which is why I'm not a fan for the most part, or any part. It's because that I don't really have a say after it leaves my paycheck, after I've earned it, and it's goes out there. It's used for everything, and half of it I really don't like, and the other half of it I may like the idea of, but it's mismanaged. So it's like, it's really difficult to really get behind that idea. And so being able to, that idea, I don't know exactly how it'd be implemented, but if you're able to say, hey, I want this percentage of my taxes to go to this program and this program, then by popular demand, you could defund bad stuff and fund the good stuff. And I love it. I think that's great.
No, but then also it sets a budget. So like now there's not like endless government money, and you have X amount of dollars to do X amount of things, and you have to be efficient instead of like printing 1,000 letters and all this like things that they won't automate.
In local communities, you can't print money. So now that does apply to the federal government for sure. But in local communities, you have to make tough choices. We've been making tough choices in North Adams for a long time. And one of the tough choices that they've been ignoring, and that's something the next city council is going to have to fix. We have some major infrastructure issues in our city with both mainly our water system. So our water system is about 100 years old now. And 10 years ago, they had projected that it would cost $20 million to upgrade and fix our water system, which we did not do. Last year alone, we had 13 water line breaks. We have about 620 something fire hydrants in our city, and over 100 of them do not work. They're not operational. And it's become a huge problem because we've had fires in our communities where firefighters are running up and down the hills to find a working fire hydrant to put out fires for people's homes. And it's dangerous. It's going to cost people their homes. It's going to cost people their lives. And because we haven't made the tough decisions to find the money in our budget and find ways to pay for these things, now people are going to suffer even more. And so, part of one thing that I want to do if I'm elected and how I want to address this problem is finding the best solution at the lowest, at the best cost to address this issue, because it's something we have to do now. It's something we cannot continue to put this off. They put it off for a decade. Our system was supposed to be fixed up 50 years ago. It was only designed to last 50 years, and we're going on 100. And all these things are starting to break and not function properly. And so we have to be responsible and stop pushing the buck to somebody else and take care of the issues now. If they took care of this a decade ago, it would have cost $20 million. Now I guarantee you it's going to cost at least $60. And so
just through inflation, it's going to be way more than that.
Yeah.
Like, so I work in the engineering field, and I actually work in civil engineering. And that's part of what I do. And so I do like lots of cost estimates and evaluation, engineering evaluation reports on large scale municipalities. And that's one of the things is if you're off by 18 months, the price is predictably up 7, 8, 9%. And you're going to have to go back. And so a decade, you're talking about a whole new, the technology's advanced so much to the point where, some things are going to be cheaper, but other things are going to be way more expensive. So yeah, that's not something you want to put off a decade.
No, and we did. And so that's a big thing that is affecting the community right now. It's a big topic, when firefighters literally are running up and down hills trying to find a working fire hydrant because the ones that don't work aren't marked. They have since become marked. These are real issues. Another infrastructure issue we have is our public works buildings, our police station and fire station. They don't have heat. There's no working heat in those buildings.
Like the firefighters should definitely get that fixed out. But the cops are fine. They're fine.
Yes, but what about people in the cells who now don't have heat and are being treated inhumanely, sitting in basement cells without heat in the middle of winter? Like,
it's a pretty good argument.
It's
fine.
We
fine. The cops can be warm.
we have to have proper facilities for people to do their jobs, and we're not addressing these. And so this is going to be a big thing in our community. We're going to have to find the balance of how do we do this, and how do we do this in a way that is responsible without taking on too much debt and putting too much burden on taxpayers at the same time. We're going to have to find that balance. We're going to have to work together to do that. And that is something that I want to tackle immediately if I'm elected. I want to sit down, I want to find the right proposal at the right price and figure out a way, how do we balance paying for this through loans, through not overburdening our tax base, and finding other money in our budget to cover these expenses. Because we're going to have to make tough decisions. We're going to have to make some sacrifices to get this done. But now is the time. We have to do it now.
You know, politicians have a hard time getting elected if they go tell people that it's going to cost them a lot of stuff and there's going to be hard times ahead. But at least they know you're being honest. And I think that's a huge positive in your favor, because a lot of politicians will just kick the can down the road. There's people 10 years ago, that's exactly what they did. It's like, hey, we don't have to deal with this now. It'll be somebody else's problem. And now you're at the point where you can't kick it anymore.
Now it's all of our problems.
Yeah, you have to have that hard conversation with the community, which I think is great. I think the more vocal that leaders are within the community and really telling them, hey, this is where we're at, this is what we really need to do, I think people would respect you for that, and then have a little bit more, they buckle down a little bit more, and in order to make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, here in North Adams, it's a delicate process. In Massachusetts, there's a very liberal ideology here, but people in Massachusetts, they still don't like taxes. We vote down tax increases. We're not a fan.
I like that sentiment. I do.
And so,
I'm down with that.
And so the New England area is more libertarian than it ever realizes. We just think that libertarians are pot-smoking Republicans, and so they don't pay attention to libertarians. But in reality, there's a very big libertarian presence here in Massachusetts and New England. But in this particular instance, again, as a libertarian, you say tax, and I get all, yeah. No, I don't. I don't like taxes. I don't want to raise taxes, ever. I don't want to vote for a tax increase. But what we have to do is come to a solution as a community together and find out and find a way how we can balance things and how we can create a better infrastructure for all of us together, because this is our community. It's on us to get these problems fixed. So where do we find the money? We've got to find it somewhere. We've got to figure that out as a team together, and we need our local elected officials to lead the way on that.
That's true. I think there's a much better argument. There's a much better feeling if you know where your money's going. It's going locally.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I have much less trouble paying local taxes, especially like when I know my local council members or planning and zoning members, and I know exactly what's going on, than I would when it's going to the state or the federal government. So I think that's a much better argument on a local level for taxes or municipal funds.
Yeah, and again, I'm not in favor of raising taxes ever. I don't like taxes, but we do have to figure that out as a community together, how we're going to attack this problem. And it can't just be one person dictating it. It's got to be all of us.
No, that's so true. Yeah.
For what state though? Because there was each state had their different legalizations.
Massachusetts marijuana is legalized. There is soon to be a marijuana shop that'll be open in North Adams. I don't know what the revenues look like yet. I haven't looked at state numbers. That is something, obviously grants and money that might be available to municipalities for upgrades. Obviously, we're going to look into those, and we're going to want to apply for those and try to get those to help offset costs. But I don't know what the numbers look like. We don't have a shop open yet in North Adams, although one is in the process of opening. And I haven't had a chance to look at the state and look at how those taxes are being used.
Good question.
No, that's a good question. I like that. I didn't even think about Massachusetts having legalized marijuana and whether you guys could get that. That's awesome that you guys have a shop or dispensary or something like that.
Yeah, we have a dispensary opening up very soon in North Adams within the next month or two. We have one in the town over in Williamstown, and we have one in several communities throughout the Berkshires. So North Adams is jumping in a little late in the game, but it's definitely a good thing.
No, I was going to say that, like, so I know a lot of, so in Maryland, that's where I'm at. We have, it's still medical marijuana and all this stuff, but I know the municipalities that have actually been able to, there's a huge long process for even a municipality being allowed to, and then getting the dispensary there. It's a whole thing, but the communities there have really benefited. They've created a ton of jobs. The tax revenue from that has actually helped locally. Again, I don't love taxes, but I mean, you know, it's much better than having it illegal. So I think that is a huge asset, especially, you know, going forward. And I'm glad you guys have that. It's a great move for freedom and you know, local funds.
I loved it. I love it. I love it all.
I love it all. I like that.
I love it all.
I just love it all. Every last bit of it.
Like, because like you guys should catch up, because Colorado has been just like nailing this for years. You know, best state.
Yeah, you guys got like psychedelics and everything now, right?
Best state in the union. I'm telling you, no one believes me. Everyone keeps saying Texas, like that's my campaign. No, it's not. Texas isn't. But Ashley, I'm not going to fangirl. But thank you so much for coming on. This has been so fun, and like you. Holy shit, you're the best person for the job. Like, you're so knowledgeable about your community. You're knowledgeable about your issues. You're realistic about what you can get done. And like, because you're realistic, I know that like you're going to fight to the death to do it. And like, that is the type of person I want to vote for. And it's a culture shift when we have at the local level, these people that do shit and they get it done. We then raise our expectations as we expand out of like people's reach, you know? And that's what I'm not going to fangirl, but I'm so excited to see your campaign and see what you do. And if you need memes, okay, if you like need a meme for anything.
Oh, she's the meme hookup.
I'd be more than happy to like supplement memes for your campaign. Okay.
All right. Well, memes are always great. For anybody listening, if you want to learn more, we do have a website up. It's ashleyshade.com. We are currently, this is something I'm very proud of. We are currently at 14% of our overall fundraising goal, and we have not officially announced as a campaign yet. So if you could throw in a few dollars, donate at ashleyshade.com. Our goal is to raise $5,000 in total for the campaign. We are looking to get 2,100 votes. That is our goal number. We need 1,700 votes to win. But I'm playing blackjack. I want 21, right? So help us play 21. Help us get blackjack. We actually want to go over. In this case, we want to go over 21. Help us reach there. Check us out online on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. The handle is ashade4office with number 4. You can check us out on social media. We also have a TikTok that you can access from our website. I believe the handle is at Goddess Ashley or at Goddess Ashley Shade. And so we have all the things, but I do need your help.
All the things.
I do need your help to get over that finish line so that we can have our promotional materials, so we can get signs out, so we can, depending on what the COVID situation looks like, will depend on what kind of ground game we have, and we want to have a backup plan in place so we can run advertisements on radio and television. We want to be able to do it all. We want to have a nice big old billboard, everything that you can think of to win a successful campaign. That's what that money is going to go towards. So if you can throw in $5, if you can throw in $10, please do. I would appreciate the support and the love. But visit the website, check out what we're doing. You can see all of our media that we've done over the past several years that I've been involved with, different interviews, different articles. There's lots of great stuff. So ashleyshade.com for everything that you want to find about the campaign. And thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is awesome. And by the way, I just loved your approach to talking to people and dealing with people. So thumbs up. You have my approval. The website's beautiful, by the way. I pulled it up. Check it out, guys. ashleyshade.com. And yeah, thanks again for joining us. And everybody that was watching, thank you so much. Sorry I didn't put all the comments up. I'm a terrible producer, like Princess said. I'm going to figure this out. This is our second live show. So bear with me. We're getting this. We're figuring this out one step at a time. And thank you, Ashley, for putting up with my my producing over here. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. We're actually, Princess, we're doing a show tomorrow, I believe, on some
James will be better. So
yeah. I'm going to be better.
You know what?
Show,
this will be fun. Just come on and track his improvements with me, and we'll all like talk shit about him. It's fine.
Give me a creative.
One more thing before we go. I got one more thing I'd like to add in. So for anybody who's out there watching, I just want you to know, if nobody's told you today, you are valid, you are important, and I love you, and I hope for the best for you. So
that's a good way to end the show. I like that.
You gotta add the love in too. So if you're out there, you're a valid person. If you need help, we're here for you. And remember, I love you.
Thanks, guys.
That's a good way to end. Bye, guys.